Machine works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Now here you can see this one is a battery supply which will provide running current here. Now it will pass through the brushes. These are the brushes, and now you can see the brushes carrying the current to the commutator. The commutator finally reverses the current and a magnetic field is developed heading from the north to the south. You can see here magnetic lines of forces. These magnetic lines of forces pass from north to south, creating a magnetic field which rotates the coil in a clockwise direction in this way. So you can see here magnetic field, and now finally a drill machine is rotated. Current passes through this type of conductor or a copper coil. According to the Faraday's law and the electromagnetic induction properties, it will produce a magnetic field that heads from north to the south, and finally when you insert any kind of conductor in this region, it will start rotating the conductor in a clockwise direction. And when it starts rotating clockwise direction, this is same as a principle that we use in a DC or AC motor, and similarly a drill machine will operate in such type of basis or principle. With the basic parts of a drill machine, there are two ways to overcome the problem. One is to use a kind of electric current that periodically reverses the direction, which is known as an alternating current. In the kind of small battery powered motors we use around the home, a battery solution is to add a component called a commutator. You can see here the commutator. Now to the ends of the coil, it is always situated. Don't worry about the meaningless technical name. The slightly old-fashioned word commutation is a bit like the word commute. It simply means to change back and forth in the same way that commute means to travel back and forth. In its simplest form, when you use it in a practical prose, the commutator is a metal ring divided into two separate halves, and its job is to just reverse the electric current in the coil. So each time the coil rotates through half a turn, one end of the coil is attached to each half of the commutator. Now, so the electric current from the battery connect describe you more easily here. Now in this region you can see the universal AC or DC motor. Now this is a motor principle working phenomena devices, and now you can see here the cooling fan. This is for the heating and heat losing purposes. Now you can see the sliding gears that are moved for the high speed operation purposes. The bearings are also situated here, the choke coil and the jaws which are used for holding the drill bits. You can see the different types of drill bits in this region here. And now in this way a drill machine will works. And if you talk about the feed electric power into the commutator through a pair of loose connector, you can see different types of brushes here. These are called the brush. They are made either from the pieces of the graphite or the soft carbons. Generally, and they are capable of making much power. And similarly, if we want to increase the turning force of the torque that the motor can create in three ways, either we can have a more powerful permanent magnet, or we can increase the electric current flowing through the wire. If we increase the electric current flowing through the wire based on the capacity, we can increase the rotating power of a motor. In practice, a motor also will give you as many as tons loops of very thin wire instead of 1 ton of thick wire. In a real use, a motor also has the permanent magnet cupped in a circular shape, so it almost touches the coil of the wire that rotates inside it. The closer together the magnet and the coil, the greater the force the motor can produce, because it will produce a large amount of magnetic lines of forces heading from north to south. So when you put them much more nearer, it will produce more RPM. More RPM means more power, and more power means that when you are working on any kind of work, you can conduct it easily with high efficiency. The universal motors is a permanent magnet or magnet around the edge of the motor case. Now there is a permanent magnet around the edge of the motor case that remains static. So it is inside the starter. There is the coil mounted on an axle that spins around at high speed, and this is called the rotor. The rotor also includes the commutator. This commutator is also included in the rotor. You can see here. Okay. Now in ordinary DC motor like the one we have just considered, the rotor spins inside the starter. The rotor is a coil connected to the electric power supply, and the starter is a permanent magnet. Motors like these are great for battery powered toys, things like electric trains, radio control cars, or any kind of electric sabers that we use really in real life. But you don't find them in many household appliances because the small electric appliances, things like the coffee grinder or electronic food blenders, tend to use what are known as the universal motor, which can be powered by either AC or DC. Unlike a simple DC motor, in for general purpose, we can easily find the parts of this motor or a drill machine parts. Now I'm gonna show you how to use a drill machine with proper handling purpose. Now I'm gonna describe you the basic parts of a drill machine. This one is a cable clamp situated here. This one is a trigger switch. This one is a lock on switch. This one is for handling purpose. This one is for handling the drill bits. Here you can find different types of diameter based upon this, and the bearings are also situated in this region. Now I always talk about you. There will be a situation of universal AC or DC motor here. There you can see a small spring situated in this region. This one is for the brush purposes. There are also bearings presented here, and similarly on the basis of the Faraday's law and electromagnetic induction, a drill machine operates. And now I will show you how you are handling a drill machine, how you insert the drill bit into this region, how you use it properly and safely so that you can do it in any kind of plumbing or electrical wiring works. I'll show you how to operate a drill machine, how to insert a drill bit inside a drill bearing rotor. Now I have got a drill bit here. If you put a drill bit like in this way, it will not go inside. Okay, you can see here, it will not go inside. To put a drill bit inside this region, you must just put it just perpendicular to the hole and insert it like this way, make it a bounce and give a rotation and give a clack sounder. If you give a clack sounder, that means it is adjusted in a good position with the inside motor and a rotor. Now all I'm gonna do is to show you how to use a drill bit here. I will provide a AC supply, and now I'm providing a AC supply here. Now I provided AC supply here. Now just put a click on the trigger button, then it starts running here. You can see now it is running. The more force that you apply on the trigger switch, you will rotate with high RPM. That is, when you give a big clenching click on this trigger switch, it will rotate with high RPM. You can see now this rotating. Trigger switch here. Just put your finger in this trigger switch, make perpendicular to the surface of the wall, and give a click. Now, if you have provided an AC supply here, be careful about this. Don't rotate this switch in any other controversial direction. Just make it perpendicular to the surface. Take it more easily and carefully, and just drive the drill bit to the wall. Just move it in a direction and cross like this part inside it. Now here, in this way, you can use a drill machine. If you make it a wash, give a direction to the grip, you can just move it. How to use a grinder machine. This machine also works on the principle of a drill machine. As same as in a drill machine, there is a switch here. Now you can see a rotating motor like part here. Now there are the brushes, the universal AC or DC motor are also situated inside this. There are different types of triggering options also situated in there, and with different types of SKUs. This one is a barrel type iron situated here. Now I'm gonna provide you supply here. When I give a click on a switch, it will start rotating here. You can see. Be careful about using this switch. And now it is rotating here. Now just use a rule for your safety. Now put a metal just perpendicular to the surface of this rotating type of driller. Now give a click to the button and it starts using it like in this direction. this way you can use this type of grinder machine for sharpening different types of devices. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my videos.